Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie to level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production respectfully brings to you the 170th episode of the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is a purple writer of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, who is apparently in the dungeon of his house because there's no lights. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on the Ages of Geekdom network for now via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, review this podcast, because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Mr. Quick?
That is a fact. They do.
They do. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right. I think I'm gonna miss the Ages of Geekdom network.
Whoa. We don't know anything yet.
We don't?
I mean, unless you know more than I do.
I mean, I don't know anything, but I can read in between lines. I can definitely see tea leaves and
them lines are really big, aren't they?
if I was a betting man, I would say that, along with a few others. But I'm not a betting man, which is good because I'm not good at it.
Okay.
I found out recently when I went to the casino that I'm just not good at gambling. I'm just not good at it. Thankfully, I don't make big bets, and I'm very conservative with my gambling money.
I do know that you make big licks.
I do make big licks. I don't. I do, because we're going to be at Big Lick Comic-Con this weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina. So, we went and set up today. Me and Wally are going to be there. Morgan's going to be there. Ro couldn't make it this time, but, we'll have some Scarlet Ranger books there also. So,
how far away is Greensboro from where you live?
30 minutes.
Dang, that's far.
No, it's not. No, it literally is not.
It's not? Okay.
It's not far. Wally lives an hour and a half away, and Ro lives like 6 hours away from.
Oh yeah.
Here. So
Ro's in like Atlanta, right? Or
yeah,
Georgia?
he's in Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. All right. So you have Big Lick. Well, I'm all right, but you have Big Lick. What?
Have you recovered from CrockerCon yet?
No. Dude, we already started planning for next year already. Okay.
That's good,
like,
though.
It just ended last year. Again, wait, we didn't have a show last week, huh?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I was out in Washington meeting my doppelganger.
That's right. I didn't even bring up that video. I should have done that.
Hey, I had a good time out there though. It was all right. That long drive, bro.
For anybody listening and doesn't know, Danny has been mistaken for the comedian Kev on Stage for years.
Yes.
To the point where people in his TikToks mentions things like that will be like, "Hey, are you Kev on Stage?" And people go to Kev on Stage and be like, "Hey, are you Danny J. Quick?" Danny finally got to meet Kev on Stage.
Yes.
And I keep calling him Kev on Stage like that's his actual name, and
Evan
it's not.
Fredericks.
But anyways, you got to meet him. You guys took pictures together. I saw he even bought your comic books, right?
Yep. He got a set of the Ace Blade comics. He posted them online. It was very, very nice of him to do.
Nice.
But yeah, it was nice to meet him in person. I bought his book, Unsuccessful Failure. I actually have it right here. I mean, Successful Failure.
Okay.
I have it right here.
Are you going to get that? That's a nice picture of him. Are you going to get that tattooed on your body anywhere?
Maybe.
Oh,
But I'm not very good with pain, but I think the subject of our guest's book is good with pain because they got a book out all about a guy who has some tattoos with a story to tell. So, welcome to the show, Greg and Dylan. How you doing?
Hey, good.
Doing great.
all right. So, for our audience that maybe don't know who the two of you are and your company, can you guys give us a brief overview as far as your company name and all that good stuff?
Oh, me? Okay. uh, in 2017, we started Seernova Comics. I needed a name for a comic book company, and I stole the name from my younger brother because he had a business called Seernova, and it was for like art, everything. And then he's like, "Oh, my business is not doing anything with that. Can I?" And I'm like, "Can I use it?" He's like, yeah. And they're like, "Cool. Then I'll just add comics to the other side." Well, it actually means something.
Wait, what does it mean?
Uh, Seer, as in like telling the future or whatever, and Nova explosion. So it can also mean explosion of like
New as well. No,
yeah,
Nova means new, so like an explosion of new things. So it's
yeah,
like a future of new, explosive newness, essentially.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I like it. I like
yeah.
it.
And then we have a bunch of comics that we've made since then. So,
Okay. And we're talking about one of your bigger comics at this point, Ink, right?
yep.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
is Ink about?
It's based off my tattoo artist, Shane Murphy. It's the same name. I'm like, can I use your likeness? And he said, sure. um, he has like a nightmare, and then in the nightmare, it's this like stranger he's never met before, because that's what a stranger is. And then this guy brands him with a key tattoo on his forearm, and the guy that brands him with a key tattoo basically tells him he has to get to this place within 3 days or he dies. So he kind of doesn't have a choice, and then he goes and does this whole training thing, and then we fast forward to like 3 years into the future. So there's like fun stuff happening, and then he gets all these other cool tattooed powers and stuff. So
Okay. Now, how much of all the proceeds does Shane get since his likeness is taken from him?
nothing. He just gets nothing.
Shane, you need to talk to your manager. You getting screwed.
We're gonna do a GoFundMe for Shane.
But I was about to say, if anything, maybe Shane owes us money.
Hey, honestly, that's a good marketing tool right there. So, hey, who knows? Who knows? No, man, it's always good to see y'all. I follow you on social media, Greg, and I've seen your hilarious puns that you share all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's always good seeing comic book creators keep doing it, and because this is difficult, man. I think it's one of the more difficult things to do. I think that we all have to have like a passion for it. So, um, what is it that keeps you going in making comics, um, and how do you see that explosion that of new ideas? How do you keep seeing that?
Dylan, what again?
I guess for me, one of the exciting reasons to kind of keep moving forward is even when Greg and I first started this, we kind of just got into it, just like I kind of got into it just for the fun of it. And so that's definitely something that I never really had a plan of like, oh, this thing's going to be really big or anything like that. It's more like just ongoing. So there's nothing really that I don't need to be like driven to keep doing it. Like every day I'm just making new stuff. So it's fun. Like I don't have to be like, oh no, I need to get to this milestone by this time or do this thing where like, I feel like a lot of comic creators get into comic creation. They're like, yeah, I'm going to make comics and make money in comics and quit my job and do this. And it's like, yeah, sure. Like, you might be able to do that, but like, you have to go 110% in. Like you have to already have quit your job and spend all this time doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about making comics, and even though like I'm very transparent about the fact that we don't make a lot of money, like we do okay. We sell comics regularly, but the profit margins aren't great on especially indie comics, and you can't really merchandise things until your character gets to a certain level to people that people want to buy T-shirts and action figures and stuff. So
Okay,
you know,
Danny Lyon. I seen Danny's books. He's making so much money off of Ace Blade. It's wild.
not enough apparently, because I have 4 children in this house, and Ace Blade is not taking care of them. I'll tell you that. Thankfully, I do have a day job, and but doing it after hours, put another 40 hours into making 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 comic books or more. A lot of times, you're putting a lot of hours into this even after your main hustle. And it's wonderful to see people keep doing it. A lot of people drop out of making comic books when they realize how hard it's going to be, but I think it's cool that you have a passion for it, and that keeps you going. Is that the main motivation? Is it just the passion that keeps you going, or do you want to get to a point where you can maybe take over from your full times with comic books?
Yeah, I would like this to be my like full time thing. I like very much. I would like to not work for somebody else. Yeah, I also wish I had started like there's this one indie company called Covenant Comics, and I kind of wish I did it the way they did. Um,
Mm.
like so they like were quiet for a while, and then they like released one series instead of me releasing 5 at one different times, and I'm like, here's money here and then there, and I wish I didn't. But yeah, so, besides
You,
that, yeah,
you learn as you go, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things that we didn't realize till later was we had started one comic, it got delayed, so then we started another comic because that particular series we were working with an artist who was just going slow. And then we released our first comic, coincidentally, was Ink. So that wasn't meant to be our first comic, but it ended up being the first comic that we printed. And then after that, similar thing, we had like another solo series and another solo series. So we ended up making like 4 or 5 individual comics before we made the second issue of any of our comics. And it was only after we got to like our 4th or 5th when we started reaching out to shops and we realized, oh, they don't really take indie comics unless they have 3 in one series. And we were like, oh, oops, like we've made more than 3, but we don't have 3 in a single series. And so we just continued what we were doing. And now we actually have a couple that are, so Ink is actually our first one that we got 3 in a series done. I also, coincidentally, it wasn't meant to be. There was 3 other ones that were supposed to be done before it to get to their 3rd issue, but this was the first one to get to 3. And then we also, same with the graphic novel, first one to get turned into a graphic novel. And now that we have that, it's like that's a much more powerful tool. So I do wish that we did that first, especially because when we made Ink initially, that was the one comic we had some other creators be like, hey, you're making a different comic. This isn't Ink 2. And they would say that like every comic we released, they're like, hey, where's Ink 2? Like, what's going on?
Man, I've seen that too. I think that's one of the things that's kind of frustrating, because especially the way the algorithms are, like you would assume that people who follow you will, whether it's one title or 4 titles, like Kyron. I know most people know Kyron for Saw, but he's got Starcore coming out here on the 13th on the Kickstarter, and
Thank you for plugging my work. I appreciate that.
that's what I'm here for. And it's weird to see how many people cross over from one title to the other, and and that's the thing that happens, that you just don't realize will happen until you're actually in it. So have y'all seen the crossover from different comics? Because I think the first Seernova book that I saw from y'all was the Seer Chronicles, I believe it was. I think that was the first title that I ran into of yours. So
I think Greg was actually on our show to talk about it.
yeah, absolutely. So have you seen more of a crossover, or is it a different group of people for each title?
It's a crossover. Like I actually like we've done so many Kickstarters that I remember some of the people. Like he said, Dylan was saying earlier, like, oh, we got a little more money. He's like, oh, was it like Heather? He's like, who the fuck is Heather? And I was like, oh, sorry, I swore. And then I like looked at the dashboard, like, oh, you know what? He's like, I don't know who that is. It's like, oh, well, she backs like every Kickstarter that we have. So mostly because of Mittens. Mittens is what started like a bunch of people came out of nowhere because I guess cats are popular. So
People love their cats.
and now we're kind of like known as the like Mittens people, and I'm like, oh, well, we have like superheroes.
Is it hard when you go to conventions to maybe sell these different titles to people? Because your titles range from what seems like all ages to maybe adult themed in a way.
Yeah. So we actually talked about that on our live stream podcast thing last night. Dylan sets up the table, and I just stand there. He's the marketer. So we like breaks it up. So there's like a horror anthology. We have Chronicles of Horror issues 1 and 2. So we have like the red kind of situation going on over there, and then purple or whatever color he's got going on for green or whatever. That's like superhero, and then blue is Mittens because the whole color vibe with that. Reddit. But yeah, and then it depending on what person comes up the table or goes by or what the interaction is. We're like, oh, do you like horror? Like, there's this guy that came up to us at Saratoga Comic Con because he didn't hear what Dylan said. First, Dylan said, "Oh, nice shirt," but it's just like all of like the horror slasher villains on his shirt, like a Hawaiian shirt. And then he's like, "What?" And they walk up closer, and I'm like, "Oh, well, now you have to talk to us." So then he bought a bunch of our comics, and I was like, "Oh, you want the horror one?" He's like, "No, I want the Mittens one too." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, honestly, that was the big thing I said on our stream yesterday was that when you do have a lot of comics, it can get overwhelming for whoever's coming up to you. So being able to like explain what you have very briefly and like group them together makes it a lot easier to kind of make the pitch. So the whole idea is if somebody came up to our table and they're like, "What do you do?" and it's like, "I don't know. Do you like sci-fi, horror, or superheroes?" Right? And now I've narrowed it down before I start pitching because if I go, "Hey, here's our 12 different issues we have," all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like, where do I start? It's like, well, that's going to depend on what you like. And so, yeah, I think that helps a lot. And then like, if they go, oh, I like horror. Cool. Here's our 2 things in horror. Oh, we like sci-fi. Here's the 3 issues of Mittens from Sci-Fi. Oh, I like superhero. Here's our 3 comics in superhero. So it keeps it very limited without making it so difficult. And honestly, it also, because we have a variety of genres, it actually opens the door to more sales because the likelihood they don't like something we make is limited because if they don't like sci-fi but they like horror, we can get them, where if you're only a sci-fi table, that's all you're selling. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of helps too.
Now this red area of your table, is it behind a beaded curtain that if you have to no?
We gotta have a security guard stand by the curtain at the table.
No,
just to make sure they're 18.
No. Are you talking about like because of the different ages for the comics? You mean?
Yeah.
No, because like most of our comics, like there's nothing like we don't have any like I would say we don't have any rated R except for maybe one of the horror comics has a little gruesomeness to it. That would fall into that category, but like we don't do any like risque stuff really. Like and not even really, like we don't do any risque stuff, like so like that's not really an issue. So like all of our covers, like a kid can look at them all and they're fine. And then the worst thing that happens in any of our superhero comics is maybe like a tiny amount of blood. There's one scene where there's a decent amount of blood, but it's a singular scene at the end of a comic. And then it's swearing. That's about it. Yeah. Everything else, like I would say that most of our comics are probably rated teen plus. We put M because we originally we didn't know what to categorize them as. But like honestly, like that's probably a more accurate rating, is that they would be like teen plus. And then our Mittens series would be everybody because that one's kid friendly.
I think that helps. I think like you said, Greg, I know you said that you wish you would have done it the other way, but I think having a variety definitely helps. It's good to be able to sell different, genres and tell different stories and show your versatility, especially in indie comics. I know a lot of us just make superhero books, but even in superhero comics, there's a lot of, variety that you can tell. But so I kind of see that as a strength, even though I know it's easier to kind of build an audience, like you can build a bigger fan base um in one title, but
Yeah, yeah. Night Watch, our latest. That's the latest released comic. We have not brought that to a convention yet, so I completely forgot about that. But yes, on the cover, it is bright white with our main character on the ground, surrounded by bad guys, and a pool of blood that covers the bottom like quarter of the comic. But it's like a cartoon. It's not like super gruesome. It's not like there's like missing arms and guts hanging out. It's just red. So like, yeah, it's definitely something. He could have spilled paint. We don't know. We don't know fish.
Yeah, fish. You don't know if that's blood. You don't know.
Yeah, he was at a construction yard. He could have been moving paint and got knocked over by these bullies, and now he's got red paint all over the ground.
Yeah, come on now.
All right, now you guys have the Ink Volume 1 trade paperback Kickstarter going right now. You guys just launched it a couple days ago, right?
Yep, on the 1st.
Nice. We're going to just show it here. So what can people expect from this Kickstarter as far as rewards are concerned?
The best comic they've ever read. Yeah, so we kept it pretty simple. We have obviously the trade paperback itself. We have a digital copy of it. We've got a sticker, a temporary tattoo, things like that. The rewards, we really want to focus on the fact that this is our first graphic novel. That's like a big thing that a lot of people that even enjoy indie comics don't want to get into them until you have a graphic novel release so that they can really digest a bunch at once and then invest in your world. So that's really what we're pushing on this one.
Yeah, I'm to that point now where I'm back in #1 issues, and then I'm back in graphic novels. Like I've backed a lot of projects on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is probably where I next to my LCS, like I buy the most books from Kickstarter for sure. But I don't know if it's the budget or if it's just I know that I don't have time to read all these books. I'm gonna back the first one, and then if you get a graphic novel and I'm still interested, I'll back then. So I think that's and I might be in the minority there, but I think that's the way to go for sure.
Hey, is Adam Fields did your first issue? Did he do the issues 2 and 3 also?
Dang, that was loud. No, we this is the first graphic novel. So we did It Comics issues 1, 2, and 3, and then we've compiled them into the graphic novel.
Okay, but is it the same artist on each issue?
Yep,
correct.
It's just so issue 1. That's like the first year that he was starting comics, and then he just improved since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to Adam on the first issue, because it was actually a really good job, but you can tell there's a huge change from issue 1 to like this. I think this is issue 1 here.
Correct. Yeah.
and then you go down to like here, and it's like, oh wow, you can see the improvement over each issue. So that's actually really cool to see.
What I originally wanted to do for this, but I just didn't have the money and he didn't have the time, was to remaster issue 1, because I actually wrote a script that has more story for that. And we actually had a whole different script for issue 1, but Dylan didn't see the script because I sent it to Adam, because that was our first second comic that we were making. So I didn't know the whole editing thing yet. And I sent it to Adam, and then he's like, oh, well, that's too many words for what's going on this page. And I was like, oh, whoops. And then we had to just rewrite the script as the art. So it was like the Marvel way for that. And then,
yeah, one of the things that happened with issue 1 was that instead of doing a bunch of dialogue, we ended up switching it to like a narration. So it's actually inner dialogue the whole time with the narration boxes. And coincidentally, that actually became something that the fans of it really liked. And then we've just carried that on ever since. But the whole reason for it was when Greg first submitted the art, he submitted it like storyboards. So he was describing a scene, but the scene would have multiple actions and there'd be a ton of dialogue. So, and like you saw, that was also near the beginning of Adam's work as well. So we didn't know what we were doing, and he didn't know how to tell us we didn't know what we were doing. And because of that, it ended up being very chaotic. Like the art, there's no way to fit all that dialogue on what art we got. And I was like, oh, like, and you're like, you already bought it. So like, that's like, we're just gonna have to deal with it and figure out what to do. So I helped Greg go through it and then basically rewrite it to inner dialogue. It ended up looking a lot better, a lot cleaner, because you get to see more of the art and even the first issue. And then in the second issue, as the art gets better, you still see more because a lot of it's still inner dialogue. And Adam's gotten very good at the storytelling through panels, and we've gotten better at being able to go, hey, like, we want this scene from Worm's eye view behind this guy's leg. Like, we're very specific with some pages, and then there's other ones where like, this is the scene, do your thing, like, see what you can do to make this, shine. And yeah, he's hasn't let us down yet, so he's definitely enjoy that.
Who raise your hand if you learned from your first comic book and gotten better? There you go. Right?
Do you think that because I've seen like in making comics, like if you can find a consistent artist that's willing to work with you, do you think that's the reason that ink has gotten to the is always in the firsts now, because you've built that relationship with your artist?
100%. It's the reliable too, like, or reliableness. Like, so our very first comic that we tried to get done, which was the Seer Chronicles, the first artist we ever hired, I think it was like a skateboard artist. We didn't know what we were doing. We just found an artist, and we get his work back, and we're like, nope, we're gonna burn that, and no one will ever see that again. And then the next guy we worked with, we were just going through this the other day. We're trying to remember. I don't even remember who the second one was, but that one is stored in a folder someplace, but I don't know where it is. The third one we worked with, we found out he was stealing art to make his art. Like, so he was like, for example, we had a picture of a Camaro with the logo of the Camaro on it in the like a car, like in our comic. And at one point, we caught a couple of these and stopped them, and other ones we missed. But like, we had a mall that someone's walking by, and he just put a poster of Ed Sheeran on it. And we're like, what the hell's that? And he goes, it's funny, right? And we're like, no, that's copyright infringement. Like, we get that out of our comic. And then
Ed Sheeran in this book.
And later,
Ed Sheeran could be in different dimensions,
And then after we printed our comic, we realized that he snuck our logo onto the top of a bus stop that you see at an angle. And we're like, you're breaking fourth walls by putting our logo in our universe. Like, what are you thinking? So we stopped working with him. We ended up finding an artist we really liked. He ended up doing a really good job on our second issue, and we wanted to have him redo the first, but then he got picked up by like an image project or something and just wasn't able to help us, which kind of sucked because he was supposed to work with us for both issues. So that's what I mean by reliable. It's like Adam's gotten better. He does really cool projects now. There's people that buy anything that Adam makes, but Adam has consistently worked with us. He likes the Ink series. As you can see, he's gotten better over the years, and we were probably one of his first projects. And it's a cool thing to be able to see, like, to grow with an artist like that. So it's not just working with an artist consistently; it's working with a reliable artist that hopefully they grow with you. So we get better at writing, they get better at art, and we both get better at communicating how we want the story to be told.
That's how it should be. What were you blaming me for just now?
Kyron is is an artist who will sneak something in a panel for absolutely no reason. But thankfully, it's something I really enjoy. Like for Ballad of the Black Rose issue 2, he put Ace Blade in there. He put a Western version. Put a Western version of Ace Blade that we on this show. I don't know if it was you or Fish that drew the
It's me.
It was you. Okay. He put that version of Ace Blade in on a wanted poster in the town and I was like, man, I love this so much. Like,
sometimes Easter eggs work, other times they don't work.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's tasteful because like it's an alteration of it. But like when our guys straight up put our logo clear as day on top of a bus stop, and we were like, oh, come on, like. It definitely no bueno.
So when Ink the Kickstarter funds, what's next for Seernova?
Hollywood. No.
Wow, okay. Come say hi. Yeah.
No,
Because I was gonna say movie studio. No, but
no, I'm trying to remember what our next. So, because we have a couple things that are still in the works actively. I think the next thing that's supposed to come out is going to be our the recreation of the Seer Chronicles. So we're actually going to be repurposing the title, the Seer Chronicles, and turn it into a what's it called? A prequel title. So meaning it's basically going to be the backlog of these other comics. So for example, Ink goes 3 years into the future. He already has his powers, but there's an entire journey he went through to get them. That might get titled under the Seer Chronicles. So the Seer Chronicles are like origin stories now because it happened to actually work out that it's the origin story for the character Fireproof. And so that comic has been in the works. It's basically done. There's like a couple of pages left we're just waiting on. But that comic was supposed to come out this year. It's likely going to come out next year. But that's so it used to be called the Seer Chronicles and it was going to be issue 3. Now it's starting from the beginning. Same comic, but it's by a new artist that we like and great work. And this stuff, this is going to be Fireproof issue 1. So that's going to be probably the next most recent release.
So Sierra Chronicles is sort of morphed into like Marvel Comics Presents style, where they're one-off issues. Sometimes you get introduction to characters, things like that, but they can't be canon like.
Yeah, like it'll be canon. It's mostly like so. The first issue of the Seer Chronicles is like 40 pages long or something like that because the very first issue was like 18 and it was like there was so much going on with not enough detail that it was like impossible to follow. So we basically added like 20 pages to it to make it a full story. But now it's like it's almost a graphic novel. This thing's gotten so long. And now we're telling 3 simultaneous stories in one book. And so we realized it was getting really hectic, where by the time we got to the 3rd issue, it got dialed down to just 2 characters that we're following. And now it's like, it's more interesting with the introduction of the character that is in the comic we just recently released, which was Nightwatch. So it's him in the future already in this world, which is kind of nice. So you're not following his backstory. So yeah, it's fun.
I love it. All right. Well, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Quick takes. Y'all already know what it is. Kyron, when you're ready.
Quick takes.
I love that thing. All
Greg,
right.
we need some intros.
So, for if you haven't seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. No, I'm just playing. This is going to be just a couple of questions for our audience to get to know you a little better. You're going to have 45 seconds if Kyron can get the layout right.
We don't usually do 2 guests, so I'm trying to figure out what works best for us.
You're going to have 40. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You're going to have 45 seconds each to answer them off the top of your head. Some of the stuff we've already talked about. So here we go. Number 1, Greg and his puns. I'm telling you, I love a good pun in a good dad joke. But scrolling down your timeline, there's about 1 million of them. Why are puns the most elite form of comedy?
I don't know. I just like them.
Moving on then.
Hey, that's a great answer because I like them. That's a
Greg
great
said, I don't need 45 seconds.
I love it. Okay, cool. Question number 2. In your story, Ink, the tattoos all mean something. Do either one of y'all? This is a question for both of you. I want to know if either one of you have tattoos and what are they?
All right. So it's gonna take a little longer than 40 seconds.
Do we need to make you bigger so we can see this? Is that what's going on?
There's so many. It's mostly just music, just like different bands that I like Iceland Kills and A Day to Remember, and then there's just geometric stuff. This is a Dead Strawberry. That's also for a Dance Gavin Dance band. My grandfather's ribbon thing, Assassin's Creed, yeah. And then I got Deadpool. So yeah.
There you go. You're running
Those
out of
are-
space on that one arm there, Greg.
Yeah.
Those are the ones he can show us. The other ones we can't actually see because
The tramp stamps,
And yeah, butterfly there.
Yeah, sure. Okay, awesome. Well, question number 3. And this is a question that we ask a lot of our guests. I know that you've done big shows and small shows all over the place. Like I said, I got Big Lit Comic Con, which is kind of a medium-sized show, but it's local.
What's
And
the
I
name
know
of it again?
Big Lick Comic Con. And
Big what?
yeah, sure.
is this
And
in Texas?
no, it's a Virginia show, but it's in North Carolina. And Kyron
It's called Big
and Kyron just
Big
did
Lick.
Rocker Con, which was a huge success. Do y'all prefer big shows? I mean, big cons or small shows, and why?
I would. So if they're super small, it's good for if you're brand new. I was talking about this yesterday, where like I like to categorize them as micro, small, like normal, large, mega. Mega's 50,000 plus. Large is like 10 to 50,000. Regular is 5 to 10. Small is 1 to 5, and micro is less than 1,000. And I would say if you're like just getting started, micro is really good. But to really make money, you kind of got to have to be at the small to like normal sized ones. And then I basically suggest doing the bottom low one and the next one. And then as you grow and get a fan base, go to the next one and kind of just keep climbing till eventually you can do the mega ones.
I like it. I like that perspective. That's awesome. I don't like being around a lot of people, but I do understand that more traffic usually means more money, more
opportunity. Yeah,
more opportunity for sure. Okay, so Dylan, this next question is for you, number 4. I saw on your podcast a clip that you were talking about. Instead of practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. In 45 seconds, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, basically the biggest thing that I saw was this video a while ago. You take a pie and you're like, okay, you want to make this perfect. Well, the pie is only filled when you can, when it's filled, that's perfect, but no one can do perfect. So you really can only get about 95%. And that might take you a week, where I could get to like 60% on day 1. But if I do it and I finish it, and then day 2, I do it again and I finish it, each day that I do it, my overall pie gets larger. So I could do 60% forever, but on day 7, my 60% is better than your 95%. So you don't try to get to perfect. You just continually grow. There's that whole, if you're not growing, you're dying. And that's true in business and life and relationships. It doesn't matter. So the whole idea is that, you just continually grow your pie through practice.
I like that. That's awesome. All right, question number 5. And we always ask our guests to do a top 5 list off the top of their head. So this one, I'll ask for the both of you, but Greg is probably gonna have the expertise here. I want to know your top 5 tattoo body parts to be tattooed. Like, where are the best places to get a tattoo? 1 to 5. not the eye. Okay.
Elbow isn't actually that bad, but you think it would be because it's a bone. Yeah, that's not. Everybody has different pain tolerance. The ditch, which is this thing, hurts a lot, so not there. Like the forearm is fine. So forearm, elbow, kind of near the shoulder is okay. Like inside here is okay, as long as it doesn't get too close to the armpit. No. And then the wrist is fine, unless if your tattoo artist isn't an asshole and goes zzz when he's doing it, but he did it. So, yeah, that's it. 5.
I like it. All upper body tattoos. I like it.
I hated all those spots because I'm ticklish in all those areas he pointed at. So no.
Yeah, I would never even think about getting a tattoo. You said the ditch. What is it called?
Yeah,
I would never ever let. I don't even let my wife touch me right here. I'm not doing it.
Well, I want to get like leg tattoos, but like you need money, so.
Yeah,
do they cost more? Or?
Calf is a better spot. Then you can show it in the summer and hide it for when you're in a suit.
I just recently found out that they do like tattoo conventions where you can, just go over the weekend and get a tattoo. Like, and those like some of the work that I've seen at these things are amazing. Like,
The very first comic of Ink, so Ink
Yep.
issue 1 starts off at a tattoo convention, and that
Yes.
tattoo convention is a real life convention in is it Boston? No, or Saratoga. So in the convention or the Comic-Con that we go to, that is the biggest one that we attend to sell.
Mhm.
Although we're about to go to a bigger one in a couple weeks, but this has been like our home base one. That's actually where that convention was held. So when we sell the comic, we're like, see this floor space? That's this right here. And it was an actual tattoo convention that happened there. So we're just like playing off of that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all doing that for us. This week, Quick Takes is brought to you by Gemini Comic Supply. If you go to GeminiComicSupply.com and put in the promo code AceBlade, you'll get 10% off your entire order. All right, Kyron, back to you, man.
I need to actually get some stuff from Gemini because I've been shipping out all these Panels of Paradise books.
Yeah.
I need to refill my stock. So if you've backed our Panels in Paradise Kickstarter, please make sure you check your surveys. I think most people have done their surveys. There's only like 3 or 4 people that have not. And everybody should be looking to get their rewards in the mail by next week. So thank you for your support on that. But Greg, Dylan, we appreciate you guys being on. We want to make sure our audience follows you, follows your work, keeps up with Ink. What is the best place online to do that?
The fastest place would be SeernnovaComics.com/Kickstarter. It doesn't matter when they watch this. It's a redirect link, so it'll always go to our Kickstarter page. Right now, it's heading towards our Ink Volume 1.
Okay. All right.
So SeernnovaComics.com.
You're right. I forgot the comics part. Hold on.
Yeah, we don't own Seernova, not yet. We got to get it from somebody.
All right. Danny, where can people check you out?
If you want to find me, the best place is our website, fourthwallpros.com. But if you want to find me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you?
You can find me at TaurusComics.com. I am on all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. And this is the first time you've checked out our podcast, you can go to our website, fourtailspodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast. You can listen to our previous episodes, buy some merchandise, support us that way. Join us next week where I have no idea who's going to be on because the person I've been trying to get on is not responding. And I want to keep this a secret until I know for sure if she's going to be on or not.
We already narrowed it down.
But
I know
if she is, I feel like we can shop some things with comics and talk about different series with her. So hopefully this will be a good show. But until then, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourself.
Great.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.